time flies. I saw this post from James Stevenson today. 5 years ago today, I boldly predicted that Tesla would open trading today at a market cap greater than $350 billion, which was more than a 10x return. That's right, folks. May 2019 was half a decade ago. And according to this guy, some dude with 3 first names, May 2019 was the deal of a lifetime. They go on to say that, I bought more Tesla stock the same day James posted this. I was on sabbatical overseas, and in May 2019, I dumped my entire remaining emergency fund into Tesla stock, buying at these split-adjusted prices. $13.68, $12.36, and $12.37. Tell you what, this guy's crazy. Dumped his entire remaining emergency fund into Tesla stock in the low teens. This guy with 3 first names continues. Dumping all my savings into Tesla stock was not the plan while I was on sabbatical after closing my finance business, but how could I resist these prices in 2018 and 2019? And it looks like he's listed his purchase prices split adjusted for Tesla stock from 2018 to 2019 in the high teens to the mid-teens to the low teens. What an arrogant prick. 0 regrets, huh? And what's this? Stay tuned for a post about my Tesla purchases in May 2024, about 5 years from now, with a winking emoji. I totally don't understand what he's getting at here. It feels like May 2019 was only yesterday. And in the scheme of things, it practically was. I know a lot of folks watching this channel didn't own Tesla stock back then. Unlucky for you. But I just wanted to remind everybody the kind of shite that we were hearing from supposed analysts covering Tesla stock at the time and in the finance media. First, a quick bit of context. In September 2017, months earlier, Tesla stock, give or take, around $24 a share, again split adjusted. Roughly a year later, stock's down 25, 26 or so percent. By May 2019, the stock down 45, 46, call it 50% from its all-time highs. Now, why am I mentioning this? Why would I be highlighting the fact that, let's say, between the 1st of September 2017 and the 31st of May 2019, Tesla stock was down 47.91%? The answer to that question, of course, is I totally don't know, which is also why I'm not sure on screen now why I'm emphasizing the Tesla stock from the 5th of November 2021 to the 21st of May 2024, Tesla stock down about 55% from all-time highs. There's obviously no connection there. I'm definitely not suggesting that this is round 2 and Tesla are on the cusp of autonomy, the Robotaxi rollout, and people not getting it. It's just a coincidence, I swear. So, back to May 2019. Tesla shares down 38% year to date. By the way, if any of you guys don't know, Tesla stock has had 2 splits since 2019, a 5-for-1 and a 3-for-1. In other words, any price we see on screen must be divided by 15. For example, 340 split adjusted, $22.66. Yes, that's right, folks. Moron Stanley, now you know where the name comes from, reduced their bear case on Tesla stock to the equivalent of 66 cents per share. Bro. So let's listen to some of the absolute insanity that was the coverage and forecasts on Tesla stock 5 years ago, because obviously it would never happen again. It's definitely not happening again. And I won't be posting about my purchases in May 2024, 5 years from now, going, look, oh, what a coincidence.
In the meantime, Tesla shares under pressure this morning following an analyst report from Morgan Stanley. Phil LeBeau joins us with the details on that, and Tesla shares down another 3.33% this morning, Phil.
And one reason why, Becky, is because Adam Jonas, the analyst at Morgan Stanley who put out this note this morning, he's widely followed and considered by most people to be the most rational of analysts who are out there. He's optimistic about certain aspects of Tesla, but he's also called it a spade in terms of when the company has missed the mark. And in his note today, as you take a look at shares of Tesla, and we're going back over to the last 3 years, so you can see that we're now trading at 2017, 2016 levels.
Interesting, isn't it? 2017, 2016 levels. He's talking about Tesla stock having essentially gone nowhere for a few years. Funnily enough, exactly what's happening now. And remember, divide all of these numbers by 15. Tesla was about $13 per share when this went to air.
He says the worst case scenario, in case things really get bad in terms of China demand, etc., this stock could be worth just $10. In his note, Adam Jonas writes, "We believe as Tesla's share price declines, the likelihood of the company potentially seeking alternatives from strategic, industrial, financial partners rises." He goes on to talk about a number of other situations that are impacting the company, including whether or not they've oversaturated the market when it comes to electric vehicles.
Yeah, May 2019. Tesla, in the entire year of 2019, ultimately ended up delivering a whopping 367,000 vehicles. Last year, about 5 times that many. Clearly, these concerns about potentially having saturated the market were totally on point. Not.
So the challenges for Tesla, really, there's a lack of a catalyst over the next couple of months. We're in this area here where you're waiting to see whether or not the sales increase or meet expectations. Cash burn, we've talked about this for some time. They're going to be burning through cash at least well into the second half of this year.
Note, we heard lack of a catalyst. Here's what happened over the next 12 months. By early May of the same year, just over 6 months, Tesla stock up 76%. By the 27th of September, the stock up 125%. By February 2020, still less than a year later, the stock up nearly 400%. But don't worry, that would never happen again. Oh, wait. 20th of March 2020 to 28th of August 2020, stock up about 420%. But don't worry, that would never happen again. Impossible.
And then there are questions about demand for the Model 3. Take a look at the deliveries of the Model 3. Remember, there was the big surge in order to meet the demand and to meet their targets in the fourth quarter. Came back substantially in the first quarter. Now the question is whether or not we see at least a plateau and then perhaps a rise in deliveries of the Model 3 through the remainder of this year.
5 days earlier, same network, same stock, same narrative.
Tesla sinking today with Wall Street turning its back on the electric automaker. Stock getting 12 price cuts this month from analysts and major share. So
I just have to take a moment here. 12 price cuts, 12 price target reductions. One hive mind. Morons, the lot of them. $150, $190, $200. We're talking about $15 a share split adjusted to $10 a share split adjusted in May 2019. Because these fucking pussies have got no brains and no balls between them. Oh, what do you think? Oh, I'm scared. Everyone's scared. Oh, let's go bankrupt. Let's all reduce our price targets the exact same amount as everyone else. Don't worry though. Everyone on Wall Street since learned to not be part of the hive mind, right? Right. Per TipRanks, average Wall Street price target for Tesla stock over the next 12 months, $174.60 per share. And Tesla stock, as I record this, $186.60 per share. Whereas 5 years ago, Tesla stock was roughly $200 per share. And what do you fucking know? Average price targets on Wall Street, just under that amount. But don't worry, what happened in May 2019 definitely won't happen again. The Wall Street analysts definitely understand Tesla stock much better now. And it's true that Tesla is just a car company. Autonomy is never going to happen. And plus, even if it does, everyone will simultaneously catch up to Tesla anyway. And the humanoid robot's obviously just a stock pump and a pipe dream, and that will never happen either.
Shareholder T. Rowe Price unloading the majority of its stake. And amid the bad press, the company's director of communications also making an exit this week. J.C. O'Hara of MKM Partners joins me now to talk about this one. J.C., this stock for a very long time traded in a wide range between, let's say, $250 to $350 a share. It has broken below that range. What does that mean to you?
That's pretty bad. Anytime you have major support that breaks, the next key is you have to look for where's the next downside level. So the next downside level for us, we see some support at 215, but really there's not major support until 185. So that's some big downside right here. So we think the downside risks far outweigh any sort of oversold bounce because...
Just to be clear, this went to air on the 17th of May 2019, and we just heard words to the effect of huge downside risk. Back to Tesla's stock price, and at $14 or so per share. Look, what a genius. Tesla stock was down almost 10% after this went to air in the following week, before surging more than 150, more than 250, almost 350% in the next 10 or so months. But don't worry, no one could possibly have seen that coming, except maybe James Stevenson. Oh, and that guy who was buying with his emergency fund. They must have just got lucky.
Again, broken support turns to new resistance. So we have major resistance at 250 now, with the next support on the downside at 185. So for us, this is a chart we just want to avoid altogether.
All right, so seems precarious, on that basis. We also have John Petrittas of Point View Wealth Management. John, would you be willing to take a longer-term bet at these prices on Tesla?
No way. I think the stock is finally coming down from, ridiculously high levels. I mean, the company...
Does this guy still have a job? I'm going to check right now. Yo, holy fuck, I still remain undefeated. You cannot make this shit up. Check this out. Right, this guy, Point View Wealth Management, makes this abominable call on Tesla, which goes on to surge multiple hundreds of percentage points after he claims that it's finally come down from its astronomical levels. I search for the dude's name, and what do you fucking know? Check this out. You can't make this stuff up. It's too good to be true. Old mate Bad Call here joined a new asset management company in 2019 as a portfolio manager. Prior to joining, he was managing director and portfolio manager with Point View Wealth Management. Bro. Now, look, it could be a coincidence that the managing director and portfolio manager, who on CNBC back in May 2019, with Tesla stock near all-time lows, gloriously affordable, give or take, just call it roughly $15 a share split adjusted, was saying there's no way he'd be buying Tesla stock with a long-term outlook here. Miraculously, the same year, this was already in late May, ends up no longer working at Point View Wealth Management. Obviously a coincidence, right? Please tell us more, John.
Has been unable to show sustainable cash flow generation. They have balance sheet issues. You have board members that are not seeking re-election. Key members of the team are leaving. Elon Musk is a wild card. Competition in the e-car market is coming on board. You have the Gigafactory freezing expansion. So this is finally a stock that's coming in where valuation is still ridiculously high. They could have diluted shareholders, which they did recently, about $100 more than where it is today. So, I think the stock and the company's a mess, and I think the stock could fall lower.
All right. Well, you kind of went through the litany that the short sellers have been naming for a while now, although, of course, the company did raise that capital, which will keep the business going for quite some time. We'll see how it all plays out from here.
And one more for good measure. June 12th, 2019, just a couple of weeks later, with a truly hilarious title on this video, Why This Investing Pro Says Tesla May Be a Short Opportunity.
Thank you, Melissa. Tesla on watch ahead of its shareholder meeting this afternoon. The stock picking up speed in June, tracking for its best month since October. Bill Baruch with Blue Line Futures and Aaron Gibbs with S&P Global are your Trading Nation team today. Bill, start with you. The stock was pretty well stretched to the downside below 200. It's popped back above. The bottom of the old trading range was around 250. So where do you see the stock from here?
2 weeks ago, I called 180, the buy area here. A lot of technical support down there. We've recovered, 2.5%. But up to here, a lot of this is short covering ahead of this investor meeting. Elon Musk is going to try to boost the stock the best he can. There's still fundamental challenges. I'm looking at 250 area, 245 as being an area to look to sell this as long as it stays contained through this investor meeting. Then I think you'll have a short opportunity.
Yep, so split adjusting his sell target, roughly $16 a share split adjusted. And then not just to sell, but then to go short. Talk about the embodiment of ADD and short-term gambling. This guy claims that he was saying buy at 180, but if it gets to 245, then not only sell, but then short the stock. And remember, split adjusted. He's saying buy at 12, sell at 16, and then go short at $16 a share. And we know what happened since.
All right, Aaron, Bill mentioned fundamentally. I mean, did this decline in the stock give fundamental investors an opportunity here or not?
No, because we're still seeing constant revisions downward. So, I do see this pop ahead of the shareholder meeting. It's a great opportunity for Musk to promise a unicorn with wings, reassure investors for a couple weeks, but then reality hits. And
on screen now, this is what reality hitting ended up looking like. Up over 300% within a few months, even after a bit of a pullback. 12 months later, the stock up 335%. Oh, and obviously you can see on screen now, that ain't the end of the fucking story, is it? A 2,700% surge within just the next couple of years. A lot of folks have a very short memory, no pun intended. But I just wanted to remind you guys, 5 years ago, the narrative around Tesla, there's no catalysts. Musk's just going to make some promises and not be able to deliver. They're slowing expansion in their Gigafactory. The competition is coming. The market's saturated. They've reached peak volumes with the Model 3. How will they keep growing? Oh, and they're not making any money. They're definitely going bankrupt. Definitely don't buy here. Great time to short the stock, in fact. And then, of course, the groupthink and the herd mentality on Wall Street, everyone with the same fucking price target, right around where the stock already was. You fucking pussies. But don't worry, that would never happen again.
we're still seeing some negative numbers come from Europe. So if he misses on the number of cars, if you miss on profits, it's just constantly being revised down, and we just don't see a bottom yet. Constant revisions down. Exactly what's been happening in the last 6-12 months. But don't worry,
What happened in May 2019 isn't happening again now. And by the way, there's no such thing as robotaxis and there never will be. Right? May 21st, 2019. From the Balls Deep Journal. Wall Street is losing faith in Tesla as its shares drop. Once bullish analysts with small brains and no balls and investors, fitting the same description, are souring on Elon Musk's company, potentially cutting it off from capital it needs to survive.
Article now questioning whether Wall Street is losing faith in the company. You're looking at that stock, and maybe we can put it on the screen right now. But Tesla, obviously, you saw where it ended the day yesterday, and I wanted to get a screen up to see where it is right this moment. But do you believe that Wall Street has lost faith in Tesla?
Look, I can tell you, as someone that's been a long-term bull that obviously turned bearish, it comes down to the math. I mean, the math doesn't lie in terms of what's happening.
That's right. Dan Ives admitting that despite having been a long-term bull, he, somewhere prior to the 21st of May 2019, had turned bearish. Again, there is a reason I relentlessly roast the Wall Street analysts. On average, the average analyst covering Tesla either A, had no idea what Tesla was, or B, was part of the Wall Street hive mind, barely a brain cell to be found, and absolutely not a pair of testicles among any of them. Oh, are you scared? I'm scared. Okay, we're going to reduce my price target like you are. What are you doing? 175? Okay, me too. Now, the reason I'm in a position to roast, as I mentioned, I literally dumped my entire emergency fund while I was overseas on sabbatical. The money that I should have kept aside for an emergency, and it turns out Tesla stock in the mid and low teens was the emergency, into Tesla stock at these levels, at the same time that everyone on Wall Street was turning bearish. And it ain't just me. We saw James Stevenson flexing as well. He expected a 10x or more over the next 5 years, and he called it. Had I not been buying Tesla stock at this point in time, had I been panicking like everybody else, I would not be in a position to roast relentlessly until the end of time. But I was buying aggressively, literally with my entire emergency fund. Therefore, I think the roasting is not only fair, but in fact necessary. Please tell us more about why you've turned bearish, Mr. Ives.
To the pure numbers in terms of unit demand on Model 3,
right,
and given the profitability for the second half, if they don't hit profitability, that's where this thing starts to spiral out in terms of where it could go, just given the $10 billion of debt. And ultimately, can they even get there going 2020? That's why you're seeing some of these draconian forecasts.
Where did the Wall Street Journal get that article? Are you sure they got two sources for that article? How did they come up with that, you think? Was that today that came out?
It was today, Joseph.
Wow. I got to read that. So tell me again.
Ahead of the game.
Yeah. So
Wall Street losing faith.
Huh.
Okay, but
didn't the guy say the shares could be worth $10? Right. Wasn't that?
But so you have Morgan Stanley saying that the sort of $10 scenario, that's a worst case scenario, we should say, because I think they were really at $200 some odd dollars.
At $230. Yeah.
Just to be clear again, $230 versus Tesla stock at the time $199. Again, split adjusted. $230 actually split adjusted is $15.33 per share. That's what Morgan Stanley thought Tesla stock was worth over the next 12 months in May 2019. And once again, just to emphasize, it was about $13.50 per share split adjusted at the time of that extremely courageous, almost exactly the same price target over the next 12 months. You pussies. But don't worry. That would never happen again. Oh, wait. What was the Wall Street average price target on Tesla? Oh, yeah, that's right. No, exactly. That's happening again.
You have Tesla now lowering the prices on some of the higher end models, but not on Model 3. So, how, do you think that's going to change the demand picture? Because that's now the issue. No longer it's a supply problem.
By the way, you did hear that correctly. In a year in which Tesla ultimately delivered just over 350,000 vehicles, 5 years later they're doing like 5 times that many, we were hearing that demand was now an issue. Sounds like the narrative we're hearing at the moment.
The walls are caving in a bit in terms of what you're seeing in S and X. Because if you look at ultimate unit demand, that's really, right now, we're modeling that to go down about 40% over the next 2 years. In terms of Model 3, they've bet the company.
Again, I just got to take a moment here. Where the analysts stand. Roughly 30 price targets back then. Fancy that. 12 buys, 9 holds, 11 sells, with Tesla stock in the low teens per share split adjusted 5 years ago. 32 analysts. Almost an even split. Buy, pussy, pussy. Actually, buy, pussy, moron. Just to be clear. Buy, pussy, moron. And back to tip ranks. 33 ratings, 9 buy, 50 pussies, 9 morons. As we can see here, the pussification among Wall Street analysts covering Tesla stock has increased. And again, I do believe I am in a position to call these guys pussies, because you know what's going to be happening 5 years from now, right? I'm going to be digging this video up, these price targets, Tesla's market cap, going, oh, look, what a surprise. Happened again. I'm just kidding. history definitely won't repeat. You should ignore everything in this video. You won't regret it.
Company on Model 3. So right now, in terms of base and mid-range, if I look at what's happening in the U.S., we haven't seen the uptick that you'd want to see so far. And if you look
so what do you think the problem is? Why do you think you haven't seen the uptick that there was this expectation that was coming?
Look, I think the EV tax credits, that's come off. That significantly hit them more than anyone anticipated. At the same,
if it's not subsidized by the taxpayer,
it's not subsidized, and it's got cut in half. Jan 1, it gets cut in half. July 1.
Do you remember when Elon Musk used to say that the tax cut was not going to hurt them at all? Do you remember? I remember that. Yeah. I mean,
let's see, 5 years later, did it hurt them? Let's see, quintupled the number of vehicle deliveries, and Model Y, literally the world's best-selling vehicle last year. If you were to look at Tesla's quarterly and annual deliveries over the last 5 years, would you be able to point onto the chart and go, that's where the credit went away? No. So it turns out Elon Musk was in fact right, which is the first time that's ever happened, obviously, right?
He used to make that point all the time.
Well, you said we're going to have self-driving taxis in a year. What did you just say about the walls, or what did you say?
That the walls are closing in on it.
The walls are closing in a little.
Well, what's your target on it now? What do you have? What's your rating on it?
Yeah, so we're 230. We're neutral, and what I would say is,
so courageous.
Even some of these draconian worst case situations, I'd view it as this. If they get through and you can see profitability in the second half, then this was just a short-term nightmare.
But is it a binary situation?
But I do view it as a
By the way, just to be clear, Tesla did come in over the 360,000 units, which turns out to have been a Herculean task. And again, just want to emphasize that Dan back then, with Tesla stock, mid-teens per share, split adjusted, not recommending investors buy or sell, but just hold. Meanwhile, James Stevenson, guy with 3 first names, and many others buying hand over fist. They obviously just got lucky though. Pure luck.
Binary, because if they don't hit profitability in the second half, we believe they'll have to raise about $1 to $2 billion or more capital.
Do you think they're on track to do that? From your channel check sources and whatever else you're looking at.
Right now, there's darker clouds in the horizon. I think that profitability in second half right now, Knicks could win a championship maybe as a better.
You don't
chance
like to
that.
change your price target, obviously, but are you that often? I mean, are you comfortable? Are you honestly sitting here telling me you're comfortable at 230 right now?
Well, yeah, we just lowered the price target, and what I'll tell you is that 230 is cautiously optimistic. Because right now we're giving them the benefit of the doubt that they will be able to.
What was your old price target?
Originally, we were 3.
So you should have changed that long ago. Obviously, maybe you should be changing. You don't think you were late changing it to 230?
Oh yeah,
it's under 200.
And what I would tell you now, I mean, to your point, if we start to see more tea leaves that profitability is not on the horizon in the second half, that's really where you have to factor in another $1 to $2 billion of capital being raised.
I mean, I don't envy you. I have no idea. I would hate to try to.
We had an analyst on yesterday who made a suggestion that there actually is a floor on Tesla that's much higher than $10 a share, in that he believes they would ultimately be acquired. And he talks about these talks that he
and This is why Moron Stanley, keywords there, Moron Stanley's absurd 66 cent per share split adjusted price target in the bear case never made any sense for Tesla. And in my opinion, honestly, I don't think they actually believed it. I think that they came up with this as a way to generate a shitload of attention and to lure in some of the short sellers, the bears, the self-hating basement-dwelling Elon haters into their research to become clients, customers, and to pay more attention to what they had to say. And surely it worked. I'm still bringing this shit up 5 years later. So, round of applause to Moron Stanley. 200 IQ morons. They outsmarted everyone, including me. The 66 cent per share bear case was never serious. They just did that to get attention, and boy, did it work.
Says he has sources on, I want to say we don't have sources on this necessarily, that Apple tried to buy the company. Do you believe that the company would become a takeover target? And do you believe that Elon Musk would sell?
Yeah, man, I've covered Apple for many years, and I don't believe that. In other words, there's always been the conspiracy theory that they've gone after Tesla, but fundamentally, remember, Beats is the largest acquisition they ever did at $4 billion. So I think that's just more. If you ultimately look at Project Titan, there's really ultimately a nail in the coffin there.
Project Titan is the car project at
There's
Apple.
really a nail in the coffin of Project Titan. In terms of Tesla being acquired, look, I think right now that it's going to be very difficult for any strategic to go to a board being like, okay, Musk is going to be running this company and we're going to buy it. So I think you'd have to see a stock go a lot lower for that to happen.
It's funny. I saw somebody on Twitter this morning joking around saying there's no way it's true because Elon would have tweeted about it if there was a buyout offer.
Yeah, and I think that's one, culturally, Cook and Musk, I don't see them in a candlelight dinner.
Well, what a fun trip down memory lane this has been. Any lessons today? Nah, nothing to do with the hive mind on Wall Street, the pussification, no one having courage, everyone just copying one another, fear, uncertainty and doubt, estimates revised down continuously, therefore the stock will keep going lower. Hey, look, a chart, the scrotal pattern on the chart says the stock's going lower, valuation's still absurd. It's a great idea to trade in and out of Tesla stock. That's a really smart strategy. Buy at 180, sell and then go short at 240. Now, I think the key misunderstanding regarding Tesla back in May 2019 was 1, the competition is coming. 2, there's no demand. 3, the company's going bankrupt. Most of this was the result of fear-induced brain damage sweeping through investors and analysts alike. Not all investors, though. And I think it's possible, just maybe, that the narrative today is, what robotaxis? That's never going to happen. And even if they do, it's not a big deal. Tesla's just a car company. In conclusion, I'm still buying Tesla stock with every spare cent, and I will see you guys in May 2029. Want more content? Early access? A bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. Plus, has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. And I haven't missed a daily video in more than 3 years. Must be a coincidence, right? Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. But don't take my word for it. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. By the way, viewer, that makes 2 of us. On to the next. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. This viewer's been taking AG1 for 8 months and says, what an investment. Another. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR or I can keep going. There's plenty more to come. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. If you're still skeptical, hey, I don't blame you. Everyone on the planet seems to be promoting AG1 now, but guess what? They weren't nearly 3 years ago when I had this to say privately to my Patreon audience before there was a relationship, when I was asked about what I was doing for my health, energy, and so on. Just sharing my genuine, honest thoughts about a product I'd recently discovered that was at the time called Athletic Greens, now AG1. If I could only recommend one supplement to take, Athletic Greens, and I'm not getting paid to say this, Athletic Greens is a fucking game changer. I cannot believe how effective this is. No longer having a lack of energy in the afternoons. It's fucking amazing. There's only one thing to recommend seriously. Try Athletic Greens. You won't go back. So obviously, just like Elon Musk is a liar, a fraud, a con man, a scammer, a fake engineer, and Tesla's going bankrupt, you shouldn't trust that guy from about 3 years ago who, without any financial incentive, was promoting this product to his audience on Patreon when they were asking about health and what he's doing for supplements. Because obviously, there was some other reason he recommended that, obviously. Not sure what it was, but don't trust that guy. And all the testimonials, like my mental game's improved with AG1. I feel better than ever. I'm so impressed I've bought it for both my parents. I feel more focused and have better digestion. Incredible difference. No more afternoon fatigue. It's relieved gut issues. These are all just obviously fake testimonials from fake people. Right? Wrong. Just try it. Unless you hate yourself. If you hate yourself and you don't even want to risk possibly feeling better, this is not for you. But for everyone else, what's the worst that could happen? Try it for a month. See how you feel. It's a no-brainer. Just click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR. You'll get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 plus 5 travel packs. And you'll take the colossal risk that maybe you might have a similar experience to some of the people whose testimonials we've read in this video.